Here comes everybody. Good morning, I'm Judge Person. I'm going to be repetitive until I see most audio having connected. I do want to welcome everybody to the Temple Municipal Court. We are conducting court happily through the convenience of home. And I think we're going to do that for a bit, and we might keep some of this. And so I think it's helpful. But I do want to let everyone know a few things about the way court happens. In a municipal court, this is a Class C court. That means that the cases that are filed here are Class C offenses. They don't result in, they result in the imposition of fines and costs. They don't result in conviction, jail time. You can have warrants, which would subject you to being arrested, but the penalty imposed, importantly, is a fine only. Now, I also want to let you know a few things before we get started. One is that if you have not yet entered a plea, before you enter a plea, you have the right to retain an attorney of your choosing and proceed with that attorney. If you need to do that today, you need to let me know right up front when it's your turn, because we'll need to reschedule your case. Okay. If you've already entered a plea or you do not wish to take that step, we'll move forward today with what's happening on your particular case. My dockets are what we call open dockets, in that while we schedule you, we don't limit what the subject is going to be. If you have a sentence that is not working and we're trying to problem solve that sentence, you could be on this docket. If you are contesting your case, you could be scheduled for this meeting today. If you are in a situation where you're trying to, I'm sorry, I've got another person coming in, a situation where it's brand new and you haven't yet been sentenced, you could be in this meeting. So it can be just anyone. And so I give everybody the same comments so that you know kind of how to think about the cases and how they move through the court. And while I can't give you legal advice, I can talk to you about how things move through a court so that you understand what the options might be. So one thing to understand is that when you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods that we have under the law for accusing someone. That is what a ticket is. It's an accusation. When you give a plea, you're giving your answer or response to that accusation. And there are three options for pleading: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Now, not guilty, if we plead not guilty, we already are assumed to be not guilty. And if you plead not guilty, then what happens is we're moving that case toward trial. And moving toward trial, we have this pretrial docket. Sometimes cases get resolved at this level. Sometimes they don't. If they don't, we're moving that case to in-court pretrial to schedule the trial, any motions that need to be heard, any discovery that needs to be done. It's just a lot more in-depth. We don't do that hearing online because we're moving that case to a live hearing process. And then we schedule the trial. So I will have asked for financial information from everyone, even if you're presumed to be not guilty, because I may need to schedule a bond. And that would be why I would do that, even though you are presumed to be not guilty. I'm going to open that docket here in just a quick moment. There's only one person on that docket, one person's case. The state of Texas is also here regarding that docket. And I just want to move their docket forward. Mr. Matson, can you unmute for a quick moment and explain who you are, please?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Matson, and I'm the prosecutor for the city of Temple.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Matson. Mr. Matson does not represent you. He represents the state, the other side. He's just here on the pretrial docket. There's only one case on that docket, and it also involves Equation Williams. And Equation Williams, I see you here. Can you unmute and just let's make sure your audio is working? I'll send you an unmute request too. That can sometimes help.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So we're going to move your case over to that contested docket room. It's a breakout space. And Mr. Mattson will talk about that case. We'll see if it gets resolved. If it doesn't, we'll move that case toward trial. If it does, we'll look at what that is. And so what I'll tell you is you'll be coming back into this meeting here in just a few minutes.
Yes.
And I went ahead and moved that over, and they can go ahead and begin. Mr. Mattson, she has moved over. So I do want to let y'all also know while we're doing what we're going to be doing, because everyone else here is here to talk to me. So again, guilty, not guilty, and no contest. I already went through the presumption of not guilty. If you plead guilty, you're saying I did this. You're admitting that offense, and we're moving that case forward to sentencing. If you plead no contest, you're not admitting the offense. You're not denying it either. You're just moving forward with kind of a neutral plea that permits sentencing to happen. So guilty or no contest, we're moving forward into sentencing. Now, one question people then often frequently ask is, well, what are my options at that point? So they're normally under law, what we have is, what generally happens and then a bunch of exceptions. That's really a pattern with law. So let me tell you that the presumption is you're found guilty, it goes on your record, you pay the fines and costs, and that's that. Okay. Now, there are exceptions, like I said. So let me tell you what they are. In a Class C court, there are 4 options. And what I'll do is I'll tell you what they are. I'll give you a little bit about how they work. I'll tell you what they are. I'll explain how they work, and I can explain what my duties are and what your duties are in all of those settings. Okay, because I assume people are looking to get it dismissed if possible, because that seems more simple. Simplicity is something people are interested in. I also presume that people might be concerned about their record in some of the cases. Not all of them affect the record very much, but some of them I would presume that. And I also presume that most people would, if they had a choice, they would like to save money. Now, that is not everyone. Everyone's a little different, okay? So if I'm heading in a direction that you're not trying to go, let me know. But I'm telling you up front, that's what I think most people have concern with, okay? And so I really gear my remarks towards what that looks like. So when we get into dismissal options, at the Class C level, there are 4. They are compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. Now, backing up, compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. The law will need to say that is possible. The law will need to say, yes, that can be dismissed for that reason. But what you can expect is that I don't expect that you know all of that. I can expect that you might not know those things. And I am under the law, what it says is the judge shall. So it's basically telling us that I will look for those dismissal options, and you can talk to me about them or ask me questions about them, but I will be looking for that. Okay. The second one I mentioned was the driver safety course option. Driver safety course option is a statute, it's state law, and there is a pre-qualification set of things that you have to meet. And then to finish it, you have to meet the requirements of that program once you're in it. We will walk you through it. And when you're walking through it, I'll do it verbally, but everything will be done eventually in writing. So you'll have a written set of instructions, basically. I will pre-screen you to see if you qualify. And then if you are qualified to be in that program, you'll sign up with the clerk who will give you the written instructions. What I want to tell you about how that works is that under state law, if you qualify to be in the driver safety course option, you'll have a driving course and a driving record due. And the way you'll have to pay your court costs, not your fine, and your show license and insurance to get into the program. Now, every ticket has a court cost and fine. And when you call the clerk and say, how much is this ticket? They gave you that whole number. And that number, we can break it down a lot of different ways. And there's a lot of discussion possible on that. But most of that is not going to be of interest to you today. But what is interesting is that they can be broken down into court costs and fines. And in the driving safety course option, you pay the court costs. The fine will go on hold. The court costs are set by the legislature, the state of Texas, not the court or the judge. So I cannot change those or make them be different. The fine is set by the judge. Okay. In the driving safety course option, you pay for the court cost, you pay for your record, you pay for your class, you turn that in on time, and you get your case dismissed. It is still less expensive to pay for the class, the record, and the court costs than to pay the whole ticket. And the reason for that is a policy issue that the state encourages that people take the course. And the reason they do that is from empirical evidence. What we know is that if a person takes that course, just that 6-hour course, they drive better for 6 to 12 months. And so we are encouraged to encourage that. That's just a policy in the state of Texas. That's why there is that program. Some states don't have that program. So it does save you money. It keeps it off your record. You do have to do the course. You can take it online or around town. Okay. You choose, as long as it's approved for ticket dismissal. Now, what you can expect from me is that I will look and see if you might be qualified. If I think, yeah, this person looks like they're qualified, I'll start quizzing you to see if I can get you into that program. And that's where I say, if you're not interested in doing that, let me know, because I just presume people would want to do that. And that's a presumption I make. And I just tell you up front, hey, that's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you're thinking. If I'm pushing you into something like that and you're not wanting to do it, speak up. Now, some things are not optional, but that one is, okay? The course, the dismissal, that's optional. It's for moving violations, and it also doesn't allow a CDL holder to use that program. That's state law. And once again, I don't make the law. So but I do interpret the law and I apply the law. So that's where that one is. The third option is called a deferred disposition. A deferred disposition is really deferred means delay. Disposition means to make final. A delay making your case final. I put the case on hold with a court order in place. I sign that order. You sign that order. Sometimes the prosecutor signs that order. And what it says is we all agree this is what you're going to do. And we agree, or I agree, that if it's done, your case gets dismissed. Okay. So that's called a deferred disposition in a Class C court. And in a Class C court, you can ask the judge for a deferred disposition, or you can ask the prosecutor for a deferred disposition in your pretrial. So the way that you do that, it's really simple. This is the duty that you would have. Guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred. It's pretty simple, but most people did not wake up thinking about that. So I like to just tell people, here's how that works, okay? So if you're looking for a deferred, you need to speak up, because if you don't, I'll assume you don't want to do it. If I've confused you, remember the word deferred and ask me about it when it's your turn, okay? Because everybody will have an opportunity to talk to me. Okay, so that's the third option. Remember, I said there were 4. And the fourth one is called teen court. And what you can assume there is if you are in high school or middle school, or if you're in a GED program, you should be heading into that teen court program. It's a dismissal program that allows you to take responsibility for your actions rather than having your parent pay for a ticket. The reason that is important is, one, your parents probably weren't there, okay? But also, if you do teen court, I am much, much less likely to see you again in the future on a future offense, okay? So what we know is just, again, another evidence-based determination. Teens do better through a teen court program than through regular sentencing, okay? So that's the 101, okay? Ask questions when it's your turn about that if you need to. I can't give you legal advice. which is where a lawyer applies the law to your case and tells you what you should and shouldn't do. I can tell you what your options are, and if you qualify, that's a different thing than applying it to the facts of your case and talking to you about those facts. So I'm looking at those options with you, with the exception of the deferred, which you request. And then I can say yes or no. And I will tell you why I do the things I do, but I will not debate my rulings with you. I'm a very transparent judge, but that doesn't mean that I'm inviting a debate, okay? Because I rule, and that's what I'm required to do, okay? So I'll be as respectful as I can, given what's going on. So, and that's a commitment that I make. Now, Mr. Matson came back in along with Ms. Williams, and I'm going to ask Mr. Matson, Ms. Williams, that you unmute. And if y'all will tell me, start with Mr. Matson, where are we on this matter?
We're going to go ahead and set for final pretrial, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Ms. Williams, we'll be here at the court on October 5th at 1 p.m. We'll plan to see you there, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. You're good to disconnect at this time.
You have a blessed day.
And you too, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Matson, you're also free to go. That was your only case today. And we'll catch up with you on your next court date.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir, and thanks for that. So another thing is that I have a number of people, and I noted, I'm also on the meeting when it starts, and I look at when people log in, because I treat it like a line so that we just keep that basic fairness going on. And there are folks that I logged in when they logged in, but I don't know who they are. I just want to make sure I have the right files ahead of me, in front of me. And so let me go ahead and just check in. There was a person named Gamer Lads, and if you could just unmute and tell me your name, your full name, please.
Garrett Marquez.
What's the last name?
Marquez.
Garrett Marquez. Okay, so great. I've got you down, and I did note when you were here. And I'm changing your name on the screen, but it won't be permanent. It'll just be so I can keep track of you in the meeting and not skip your turn. And I'm going to keep you muted until it's your turn. The next person that I noted that I did not understand who it was is Galaxy Note 8. Can you just hi, thank you. Can you unmute and just let me know your full name?
My name is Scott Weems. I am the father of Hannah Weems.
Okay.
I am here with her virtually from my place of employment.
Okay, that'll work. You're with her at this time?
Well, virtually. She is logged on as well. She's been texting me saying that she's having some issues with her camera. She can hear you. She can't see you.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll probably get to her in a minute because I think she's one that I can't identify too. We'll be with you shortly. We'll figure it out. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then Daniel's phone. Where is it? Yeah.
Daniel Blanco.
What is the last name?
Blanco.
Oh, Blanco. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Blanco, I got you down. I'll just again do the renaming. And then there was a Samsung device. Let me find that device. It might have been, okay. Samsung. Samsung device. And I've just hit you. There you go with unmute request.
Yes,
Yes.
it's Marco Ornelas.
Thank you, Mr. Ornelas.
Thank you.
I'll keep track of you. And then there was a Zoom user. There we go. Zoom user, sir, can you give me your name?
Jose Phillips.
Thank you. Oops. And then there was someone who logged in a little bit later named Stephanie Pete.
That was me. I changed my name on my screen, but my name is Caitlin Kleinsmith.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. So yeah, so I'm going to talk to everyone. It's okay to relax a little, but we keep people on screen unless you're doing something that we shouldn't see. That happens. I mean, sometimes people take a bathroom break or whatever. But we'll ask you to keep on screen. And then the other thing that I'll do is just, it's helpful, frankly, if you're patient, it's helpful to kind of work through. Can we look at Lean's real quick, just the screen? It's helpful to, just kind of get a measure of what's happening in the courtroom. If you were here in the courtroom, and we are conducting it as if we were in court. If you were here, you would be hearing things. What I've found is that people may not understand their options very much until they get a little more acquainted with it. And you'll hear me talking with people. So it can be helpful. But I'm going to begin then with Hannah Weems and her father. And actually, if I can have you both unmute, that will help. Okay.
Am I
So-
unmuted?
Yeah, you are unmuted, and so is Hannah. Hannah, can you
Thank
speak? Can you just tell me your full name?
I'm Hannah Weems.
And do you have a middle name?
Denise.
Okay. I did see that you're a high school student, and I also saw that you're working. And the charge is a speeding in a school zone. The court costs and fines, if you paid it, are $259. And what I want to tell you is that we do have a teen court program. I am inclined to grant that request. The way that we conduct teen court is it is a sentencing hearing with other teens conducting I actually conduct the proceedings, but they do the advocacy for you and frankly against you as both a prosecutor and a defense. And a jury of your peers would listen to the case and they would decide, what you need to do to earn a dismissal. There's a $20 fee, but otherwise the program is free. We are conducting that October 19th at Temple High School. We show up there at 3:30. So the commitment would be that you would get out of school in time to get there by 3:30. We can give you an excuse. You are 17, so you don't have to have a parent with you, although a parent could and is encouraged to come with you because actually it goes better. Again, the issue with driving with teens, what I want to tell you, and it's hard for me because I'm normally engaging you with and looking at you and talking to you and I can't see you, but we can get to that later. But the thing with driving and teens, our teens in Texas die at the highest rate in the state. And unfortunately, Texas is number one. We are the number one state for teens dying on the roadway. And it's astronomical. We outstrip all the states. And it's not because we have more people, because actually they adjusted the way that they do. And yet here we are. So that's really the thing, okay? We're really interested, Hannah, in keeping you safe. And that's why I have a teen court program. I think that it might sound like a lot to do. On the other hand, what I know is my chances of seeing you drop from about a 70% rate to about a 20% rate. So it's dramatic and it's worth doing. And especially when we're talking about the safety issue of driving, I definitely think that it's worth doing. So are you interested?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Dad, are you good with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And it gives you enough time, October, to plan work, etc., to let your teachers know and all of that. So the next thing I would say that we would need to do, Hannah, is you need to come by today to sign up for that program. Dad is encouraged, or mom, to come with you and sign up with you. But again, at 17, you're considered an adult. So, that shocks people too. People don't realize that Texas is that way. but in any event, you would pay the $20 fee. You're going to sit down with a case manager and just talk a little bit about your case and about your goals. And then, it won't take more than probably 15 or 20 minutes, maybe less. And then you'll be good to go until we come back to teen court at the high school, Temple High School. We have a particular, excuse me, y'all. I need more water today. And then we'll have, the opportunity at the high school setting, we'll visit a little bit more, and there will be other students very similarly situated hanging out there doing their cases too. But you stay for that proceeding, you watch everybody's case, and then we all go home. So it does take maybe a few hours of time there. What I want to ask you is, where were you heading on the day that you were stopped?
I was heading to where I work.
Okay, were you running late?
No, ma'am.
Did you know it was a school zone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I guess you were alone in the car.
No, I had someone else with. I was stopping by his place of work first, and then I was going to go to mine. So I was heading to where I work.
Okay. So you help other people get a ride?
Yes.
Okay. And is that like a standard activity?
Yes.
Okay. And let's see, are you the only young person in your home? You have siblings?
I do have siblings.
Are you the oldest, youngest, middle?
I'm the oldest.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think of things that the advocates that help you need to know. Oh, I know. What year are you in school?
I'm a senior.
Do you know plans yet for next year?
I'd like to go to college.
Do you have an idea what you might be wanting to study or go into?
English for education.
Great. My mother was a teacher for 37 years. So, so another thing I guess I would wonder is, I've asked most things. Oh, extracurricular activities.
I am in the school orchestra and the school choir.
Wow, that's a lot of music. And do you like outside activities besides school related?
Would church count?
Yes, absolutely. It was. Okay, that's probably enough, but the case manager will ask you some things too. And let's see, when can you be here? Okay. Okay, when can you come by today?
And I should come with a parent.
It's preferred, but it's not required. Dad, what works for you?
Unfortunately, I am without a car at the moment. I'm going to have a very hard time getting there.
Okay, she can come
And
without
this
you.
is okay.
And she'll
Okay,
bring
yeah,
home. She'll bring
and I-
home. Sorry, that's the thing that happens with online. She'll bring home everything that she's signing. It will be copied, and she'll have it. So,
Is there anything more than just scheduling the appointment and confirming that we will be there, or are there decisions to be made today?
no decisions to be made today. Just scheduling and confirming.
Well, I believe that she is perfectly capable of that under most circumstances. Otherwise, I would be there, but the transportation is an issue.
Okay, no problem. All right, Hannah, we'll see you. What time works for you?
What time do you close?
We close at 5, so we like to get you here before 4:30.
All right, I can do about noon.
Noon will work. And can you pay the $20 cash fee today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll have you down. We'll have everything at the window for you. Just expect a pretty quick trip. Okay, y'all are good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Y'all are good to log out. Caleb Jeffrey, can I get you to unmute? Let's see.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine. Pulling your file, looking down. So are you with a parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm his mom.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you. So let's see. You did hear all of that, so that's helpful. You're asking for teen court. I want to let you know that you have a failing to control speed charge. That could confuse people. Sometimes they think that that means that they were speeding. It doesn't mean that you were speeding. It means that you lost control of your vehicle. And either sometimes there's an accident and sometimes there's not. Okay. So it isn't always an accident either. But you also entered a plea and asked for teen court. And it looks like you are also working. I don't know what summer moon is, but it looks like coffee. And the plea that you entered was the plea of guilty. Do I have that plea correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're asking for teen court?
Yes, ma'am.
There is a $20 fee with teen court. And the first question is, can you pay that fee today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then the next question becomes, start taking some notes. The work that you're doing, that's in Belton?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you heading to work?
No, ma'am. I was heading home from church at the moment.
And was there an accident or a collision of any kind?
There was. The back of my truck hit a guardrail.
Okay. What happened?
So at a light, I was turning a left, and then the
Rain.
turn wasn't the problem. It was raining, so whenever I tried to speed up, the back of my tires spun out, and I hit a guardrail.
Okay. And so you were going home from church. Was it evening or daytime?
It was probably midday. It was around lunchtime.
Okay. Let's see. So you're in the, we don't have proof of school. Are you in school?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you go to school?
Lake Belton High School.
So I would say too, with the cash fee today, we need proof of enrollment. So your school ID should work. Okay. And you'll bring that with you too. And let's see. Are you junior, sophomore, junior, senior?
Junior.
And what kind of extracurriculars?
I'm in football, powerlifting, track, FFA, and I do church outside of school. I'm on the leadership team for my church.
That's a lot. Powerlifting, football, FFA. You said one more thing. What was it?
Track, and then the leadership team for my church.
So it's just kind of a normal question. My view of teen court and of the criminal justice process is that it has to take precedence over other things because, well, eventually you're done and you put it behind you. But you listened earlier, there's a commitment to be at the court October 19th to do your case. And are you going to be able to meet that target?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It is a dismissal process and it is designed to keep you safe. So I think it's worth doing. Are you a sibling? Do you have siblings?
Yes, ma'am. I have 2 younger brothers.
You're the oldest?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I think it's a good fit for teen court. When can you come by? Mom has to come with you to sign up. So when will that work?
Does it have to be today? Because I do have a football game later.
Okay, yeah, it does. Can you come now on your way to school? I know it's not on your way to school, but coming here and then heading to school, we can give you an excuse from having been in the court. It doesn't tell why you were in court, but it does excuse you back into school. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
we do that?
Of course.
Okay.
Where specifically?
Yeah, right. I think I heard mom saying, where specifically do we go? And the answer is back to the court where you were before. I don't know if you came by. So if you emailed everything in, our physical address is 401 North 3rd Street. That's 401 North 3rd Street. We're in Temple where the water department is. Oh, y'all are Gatesville. Yeah. Let's see. I closed the room. I wonder if I can open the room back up and get a case manager in there. No, I didn't close the room. So actually, hang on one moment, okay? Can we see if Yolanda can get on Zoom and just meet with them on the online? I'm going to see if the case manager can do this online and make an exception.
Thank you.
But we'd have to figure out how to get the fee paid today. And it has to be cash. It's not something that can be paid online or by phone. Mom could bring it if that works for y'all. I guess I could do it tomorrow morning.
I could take it today.
Okay. Let me try to get the case manager with y'all, see if she's available to do this. Just hold tight for a moment. I'll come back to you as soon as I hear from her, or if she logs in. Let me just, is she gonna log in? Okay, she's gonna log in, and when that happens, I'll connect y'all. Just hang on a moment. And then I'm gonna move forward and I'll get back with everybody on that case here in a moment. Let's see. Jeffries, Mr. Jeffries. And right at this moment, I'll move forward with, let's see, let me just get a quick counting. Okay, Garrett Marquez, if I could have you unmute, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Okay, I'm doing fine. Let's see. I did receive a no contest plea. This is considered to be an assault by contact against a family member. We do have fingerprints and everything. I think we visited before, but I'm trying to remember if that was you. Were you on the meeting a few weeks ago and we had to do your fingerprints?
No, ma'am. I did mine at the jail.
I see. Oh, that's right. You're asking for time. Are you enrolled in school?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where do you go to school?
Temple High,
What grade are you considered to be in?
a junior.
Okay. Have you recently changed your hair?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do with it? Because I've got a photo and
I bleached it.
okay. So the family member in this case, who would that have been?
My mom.
Have you had anything like this come up before? Have you been charged before?
No, ma'am.
So the reason I asked that, and have you had other charges? Like any
Can you repeat that?
Yes. Have you had any other contact with the criminal justice?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So the thing is, time served is an easy out. I'll grant you that. Okay. But assault with contact against a family member is the type of thing that can be used against you later. And technically you're considered an adult. And therefore, it's really like a record that is going to be there a long time. It limits employment. It limits school activity, not high school, but college level activity. It can limit what you can be licensed to do. For example, medical related fields. If you're looking to do anything with medicine, law, animal work, anything, dentistry, all of those things, you'll be barring your future on those kinds of things. So one option would be to do teen court.
Mhm.
And you would have to come to teen court. You're 17, you don't have to have a parent with you. We would hear your case and listen to the facts, listen to what you have to say about it. It's not to be found not guilty. It's to impose a reasonable sentence for your situation that then you would then sit down with a case manager and just work out how you're going to do it. And but doable. We don't set you to do things that you can't get done. We look at all the factors involved in that. And then when you get those things done, I dismiss your case and it doesn't go on your record. So I would say that that's really something you might not have known about because most people do not know about it when they come to court. I can waive the fees involved in that because you have some jail credit for that if you want to do that. What do you
Yes,
think?
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So can you come by the court today to meet with a case manager and talk about this further?
I can try. I have to discuss with my mom.
Okay, is she there with you?
No, she's out in my living room currently. She's listening to country music.
Okay, can she come in?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me go get her.
Ms. Gonzalez, Mr. Caleb Jeffries is here and he is Gatesville. And so I thought y'all might meet about his teen court case just to get information. He's probably able to do everything signing up online.
Okay.
But he's 16. His mother is with him. She's willing to bring the $20 fee over today. But I thought that you could kind of walk him through it like you would at the window. That way he can go back to school. That just turns into like more than an hour to come
Okay.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, thank you so much for your help. I'm going to send you over to that breakout room, and Mr. Jeffries, I'll actually send you as well. I've already signed the sign-up sheet for teen court. So we have that, and I think that Aaron is going to email that to you and maybe also to Mr. Jeffries for signature.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss.
Okay, so yeah, Mr. Marquez, thank you for getting her in. Where is she?
Oh, I just went and talked to her, and she said that she was able to.
Okay. Do you think she would have any objection to doing teen court and getting the case dismissed?
No, ma'am.
Okay, what time of day works for you?
For what
To come by.
Oh, probably like noon.
That would probably work pretty well. Yes, that will work. Okay. And I'm just making a no fee. Okay. Thank you. We'll have everything at the front desk for you, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Yep.
All right, and then Jose Phillips Davis.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good.
Good. Sorry, let me just count. Okay. Mr. David Phillips. Go by Mr. Phillips or Mr. Davis?
Mr. Phillips.
Okay. So this is a violation of your license restriction, and the costs and fines are $181. It's one of those things where, oh, and I see that you're working. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So first thing, what happened What happened with your last court date?
Wait. Oh, the thing is, like, I thought it was a week prior to it, so I showed up like on the week, and then I was like, nobody started the meeting, so I was like, okay, well, it must have got rescheduled, so I just like didn't come. And then I thought in my head like the other day, I was like, oh wait, I think it was last week actually. So I told my mom to call up there, and then I just got to reschedule.
Okay. So teen court is one of those things that you could do. I might not take you over to the big trial process because it's a the violation restriction doesn't always go through that process. So, but there is a $20 teen court fee. Can you pay that fee today?
Yes, but
Okay.
like I'd rather just pay like the whole like I'm talking like the driving safety course thing that you can do
This-
online or in person.
This one is license violations are not eligible for that program.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's for moving violations. If
Oh.
you wanted to do a deferred disposition, which would keep it from being a conviction, and you were paying the balance of 181, I would do a deferred disposition, but I would require a driving safety course to be done in order to gain that dismissal. Is that interesting for you?
Yes, ma'am.
You can do it online.
Yes, ma'am.
When can you pay the 181?
When I can I do like a 2 payment setup? I can pay
Yes.
like half this paycheck and then the next other paycheck.
Yeah, we can do that. When's the paycheck? What day it works for you?
I get paid every Friday, so when today's Thursday, so on the 16th I'll get a paycheck, and then it should be the following Friday.
Okay, the following Friday is, got to put this into a corner. The 30th or the 23rd?
You said what, man?
The 30th or the 23rd of September?
The 23rd.
Okay, and then I'm not going to have your course due until November 15th.
Okay.
For the course. We'll give you written directions for the course, how to find one. And your deferral, it would end January 17th. And if you receive no tickets during that time, make your payments on time, turn in your class on time, you get your case dismissed. I do need your signature on the document today. So when can you swing by the court to sign and get a copy?
Around around 3 or 4, because my mom gets off at 2 to 3, so around 3 to 4.
Okay, I'll just put that we'll be here by 4 p.m. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Everything will be at the front desk for you. There's a way, if you do what's written down and read it carefully while you're here, if you have questions, the clerk might be able to. They can't, they'll get the question to me. It should be pretty straightforward. And if you do everything that you're saying you'll do, then your case will be dismissed.
Your Honor,
Yes.
this is his stepdad.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
One officer says that his permit is good. Another officer says that it's not any good. Which one do we go with? I mean, is there something we need to do so this doesn't happen again?
Well, there's a restriction on his license. And so, yes, he can drive, but I believe that restriction, if I'm not mistaken, is a restriction as to how long he can drive, how long he'll have till he can drive without someone in the car with him in the seat. He is required to have a licensed driver, 21 or over, in the front seat with him until the date that ends, which should be on the license itself, the date. And then he can go and apply to have that removed. So the answer is that both officers are correct. It just depends on how you phrase the question. It sounds like the license is valid. It sounds like he's allowed to have one, but
Okay.
he's not allowed to just take a car and drive.
Yes, ma'am.
Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Well, that's all I needed to find out. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So yeah, Mr. Phillips says we'll see you here at the court before 4 or by 4.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, we're moving right along. And so let me just, I like to keep track because then I know where I'm at. Let's see. Okay, so my next person should be Denise Morales Rodriguez. If you could unmute. And how are you today?
Doing good.
Let me get your file pulled. And we have a few. I reset, if you recall, we visited before, and
Yes, ma'am.
if I'm right, you were looking to, excuse me, it was something to do with your license. I can't remember.
My community service was invalidated because I had forgotten my signature on the paperwork, dear.
Yes, that's right. Okay. And okay. So give me for 1 second. Okay. So yeah, we had talked about let me just look and see where were you able to turn something in for us?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
I came
hold
in
on,
and signed.
I'm so sorry. Hang on 1 second. The clerk is just telling me what I need to know. We have it here. She has been trying to validate, which is, should be simple, but no one's calling her back. No one's verifying. She's pulling that out for me to look at. Where was this?
I don't recall the street that's off of, but it's a ministry that's off of Hector P. Garcia. It's right across the street from that.
Okay. Do you know the name of the place?
Not off the top of my head, if I'm being honest with you. I was gonna go visit with him later in the evening to see how that had gone about, but with your verification right now, pretty much,
Right. See,
I don't know what you want me to do.
we got a list of places. I know we got a list of hours with the name Pastor Robinson at the bottom with no name on the provider and no phone number and no location. And now I guess we had a phone number from her. There's a business card, Temple of Refuge. And, I just don't know if that was and is now a nonprofit. The hours were from 2020. And originally you hadn't signed them. So that was part of a problem. And now we're just, we're not really, the burden is not on us to prove that it's a nonprofit, it's on you.
Yes,
And,
ma'am.
if I can't reach the party to even try to do something that little, then I just feel like it's up to you to prove. I can give you a little more time. What I would need, I mean, people can say their ministry, and that's really cool and everything, but they have to do the paperwork for nonprofit status.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that's a copy of that paperwork. We have not been able to verify it on the state. So and it's older. If it's currently a nonprofit, I might be able to make some kind of exception since backward proving is not really a great option. And you're here, I'd rather work with you, but I don't feel like my staff should be trying to make this.
Yes, ma'am.
So I can extend you 2 more weeks to try to get that done. And then we might need to talk about it.
That'll work. I was gonna swing by there after this anyways to try to get a hold of him myself because I haven't been able to get a hold of him.
Right.
I know 2 years ago prior he was trying to make a homeless shelter type of thing, and that's what I was helping out with at the moment. Do you need me to ask him to just contact the office itself, or what are the requirements that you would want me
If he
to?
contacts us, we're going to tell him the same thing I'm telling you. I need proof that it's a nonprofit.
Okay.
And so, if you want, I mean, that's just putting me into a conversation that is yours.
Okay, understandable.
So why don't you have that conversation and get us the proof?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, because us calling them is a courtesy, you know,
Yes, ma'am.
that's why I give you the rules up front. That's why I give you a list of places I know will accept, and we know they're nonprofit because they prove it to us.
Yes, ma'am.
But when you leave that list, it's up to you.
Okay.
Okay, I will give you till September 29th. I do need your
Okay.
signature on that. So while you're out today, when can you swing by the court to sign?
Here in about an hour or so, I will head into the office to sign that paperwork.
Okay, around 11ish.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's see. Give me one moment, folks. I'm just fixing up the paperwork real quickly. Mr. Jeffrey, is that? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, just moving forward. Let's see. So, Niles Turner, if you could unmute, that would be great.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Let me go ahead and just look. There are warrants on both cases. The first one is a speeding charge from April 3rd of 2017. The fines and costs, if you paid them, are $444.60. Due to the passage of time, of course, the case fees went up because warrant fees cost money. Failure to appear fees cost money. It's just neglecting that creates that reality. And the other thing is there is a violation of the promise to appear. Every ticket has a court date at the bottom, and that's the date that you're supposed to appear no later than. And when you don't honor that promise, you wind up with usually just a single charge of failing to appear. That did happen in this case. The fines and costs there are $434.20. And I do see that you did enter a written plea to both of these today or the other day, a no contest plea on both charges. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I also see that you requested a deferred disposition, at least on the moving violation. Yes, on both cases. And let's see. Right. And then I'm looking and it looks to me like right now there are some, definitely needs, but no income. And you're not working at this time?
Not at the moment, no, ma'am.
Okay. I can grant the deferral, but we would look at community service on the cases. Okay. Now, once I receive the community service back, that is the payment form that we'll be using. So once you get that in, even though you'll be on a deferred, I can release the hold on the license at that point, which I think is part of what you're asking me when when people say I'm trying to get back on my feet and I know I have a hold on their license, I translate that as, court, I'm asking you to release the hold. And
right.
I think I've interpreted that properly in this. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so what I tell you at this point is that I don't mind releasing it once I get those hours in, because then I know I can clear my file one way or the other. I don't mind putting you into a position where you could gain a dismissal as long as you do what you're required to do. The one thing is that under state law, because it's a moving violation and you're going into a deferred option, I am required to require a driver safety course. And along with those hours, that would be due by November 15th. And your hours would also be due by that time. 44 hours And you can do that where you are. So I see that you're not in Temple, and many people aren't. They're just driving through when they get a ticket or whatever. They move away, whatever, what have you. So I don't require that you come to Temple to do your community service, but it must be, I think you've seen me talking to someone already this morning, it must be a nonprofit organization or I
Right.
cannot count it. And that needs to be a fairly simple process.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I am not required to prove that it's a nonprofit.
Yes, ma'am. I actually, I was not looking to do the community service, and as far as the deferred, I did ask for it, but I'd rather, I was prepared to make a payment today if you didn't mind to just go ahead and get the hold cleared altogether.
Okay,
If
what
you
are
did
you
not
able?
mind.
Okay, we can talk about that. What are you able to pay?
Yes, ma'am. I was prepared to pay you 400 today.
400?
Yes, ma'am.
And then when that's not going to clear everything, the balance is 878.80. I can
Correct.
probably do a little bit about that, but unfortunately, most of the fees now at this point are just related to that non-appearance.
Right.
I can look a little bit. Is that- let's see. And I usually do instead of a bunch. Let take it 250. So I can do a reduction on the failure to appear case, partly from the information you provided, and I did read it. And so let me get you a new balance. On the speeding, if you want to do the deferred, I would allow it still. The failure to appear, the violation of the promise to appear doesn't affect your driving record. So it's not really going to get you a lot of mileage. But I do need to be able to clear the case in order to release the hold. So if I can get you another total, then we can look at your options. And if you want the deferred still, we could do that. But again, it's the moving violation triggers the need for a driving safety course. And if that's not your, ball of wax, I get it, because I'm not here to force people to do that. I am here to encourage it, but I'm not here to force it. But it is a state requirement of me as a judge that I must require it on your
Understandable.
deferred. So I just, to me, it's really easy. If I just follow the law, then it doesn't turn into something weird that I shouldn't be doing. And, there's plenty to do just following the law without adding a bunch of weird personal stuff. So let me get your reduction. And then we'll get you a total. And that'll be when I'm going to swing back around and say, hey, when can you pay that balance? And at that point, you can tell me if you really want the deferred, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Give me a few minutes, okay?
Thank you.
While we're waiting, I just like to give clerks time to work. And don't do the deferred yet. He's not sure. Just the reduction. Oh, we have it. Never mind. She's really fast. Mr. Turner, she's back on. The balance changes to 683.93. So there's another thing to tell you about, and that your balance would be 283.93. What I would tell you is if you pay the cases within 30 days, then it doesn't go up. If it goes over 30 days, again, state law requires there's a $15 fee per case, and they would go up. And you have collection activities, so collection fees would go up slightly as well. All that is to say the balance would go up just a bit.
Correct.
Probably up about a little bit above 300. I'd have to see what it does.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not great at doing this quickly. And the system won't let me add that until we do it. That's
fine. The reduction, was it a reduction of $250?
The reduction was it was $150 reduction. However, right. No, wait, was that fine too? The fine was $199 and I reduced it to $50.
Okay.
And then your collection fees also reduced. So it probably looks closer to 250. Yeah.
Okay.
It dropped you from 878.80 to 6, what did I say? 683.93. So anyway, your balance after today would be 283.90.
Well, I'm looking to just make one payment, so I'll probably just pay it off today.
Okay, is that what you're going to do?
Most likely, yes, ma'am. If not, I will send you the 400, and I'll make sure that I have the rest of the balance paid before the 30 days. Most likely within the week.
Okay, what I can do is say payment of 400 today with the balance due within 30 days.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, courts have to make a definite thing. Like I can't order, I might do it.
Right.
There's no language that's enforceable. I would, you're not here, so I can give it to you.
I actually came down there to do my, yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're here now?
No, I'm not in Temple. I came down there to sign my paperwork because I was told that I had to come to court. But
Yeah, I can recall your warrants today. We're going to email your paperwork to you, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Turner.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You have a good day.
Well, no deferral. No, yes, Mr. Turner,
Yes, ma'am.
you're not wanting a deferral, is that right?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. Yeah, he wanted to keep it simple. Okay, moving forward, however, let's see. Laborde and Dye, if you could unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. How are you today?
Fine, and yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. Let's see. Yeah, so this was another one where, just the verification process where folks leave the list, starting to make me wonder if I should let people do it at all. But so the thing is, they were not willing to work with us in verifying the nonprofit status. Is that right? Yeah, that's how I'm reading.
I think we discussed that on the last one. Yeah. So we're working on trying to do a payment plan. I did find that though, that one of those, not the church, but the second one, I didn't realize he didn't go all the way through to get his stuff done. So that's how that one came about. But yeah, I think now we're on the point of just trying to get me back on a payment plan and get it taken care of.
Okay. What is that? Let me look and see. Sorry, you have a lot of papers. And
yes, ma'am.
Needed to review. Are you working at this time?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do we? But, oh, here it is. Okay. Are you with Humana?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And let me look at the date on this. Yeah, so this is pretty recent. And here you had said you could pay $80. But I'm really willing to work with you on what
your connection is breaking up, so I'm missing half.
It's because I'm moving around. It's because I'm moving around and putting my head down. I need to not do that.
Okay.
I forget. Thank you for letting me. I can work with you on I start looking at papers and I forget that the mic is just a directional issue. So I can look at what I was saying when I was muffled is looking at your payment application. You had proposed to pay $80 a month. I'm okay with that, but I can work with you on it. What I do usually with this type of situation where there's a fairly decent balance and, it's been in play for quite a while, is I would probably make it pretty comfortable for you, like a $50, like $25 every 2 weeks when you get paid sort of thing. And then when you have extra money, you can pay more and just get it done faster because we don't charge interest and we don't penalize people for doing more than what they signed up to do. Okay. And then I'll probably work after court just a little bit to reduce these a little bit since we're shifting into payments. And I feel like your income is not easy for that to happen. So first, let's talk about when do you get paid? What day of the week?
I normally get paid every other Friday.
Okay.
So I know it wouldn't be this week. I would get paid this week, but I know that's not gonna work. So it'd be the following. Oh,
It's the 30th.
yes, it is. My daughter's birthday. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So can we do $25 that day?
Sure can.
Okay. Can you wait until after lunch to come by?
I don't even, probably not, because I work from home and I'm waiting to clock in now because I took off this morning.
Okay. Can you come first thing in the morning?
What time?
When can you come in the morning?
I can be
Otherwise,
there what time do y'all open up?
we open at 8.
I can be there at 8.
Okay. I'm going to look at some reductions, but
Okay.
I need to give staff like time to do that. And we want to get through our docket today. So 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll have a final number and we'll
Okay.
expect you to come by and make a signature on that. It won't take very long.
Okay.
Can we agree to do it that way?
Yeah, that'll be fine. And matter of fact, can you just put me for 8:30? I forgot I dropped my kid off at school in the morning. I live in Killeen, so I've got to get from Killeen to you. So yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll see what I can do on reduction.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, ma'am. LaPassion Manuel, if you could unmute. Ms. Manuel?
Yes,
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Why is it like this?
There's a driving while license invalid charge with costs and fines of $281. And I do have a plea from you of no contest. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, you did ask for community service and I did review the forms and I can order community service. What I would say there is you can perform community service anywhere in the community that is a nonprofit, but I have a list of places that are suggestedly easy. And it would all be due November 15th. Please excuse me. It would all be due November 15th. Would you like to do that?
Yes.
Okay, can you come by the court? We need you to come by and just pick up the paperwork that tells you how to do your community service and what options are available, as well as a timesheet. And I need you to sign one thing for that.
Okay.
Okay, so when can we have you come by today?
I can come by today before y'all close.
What time?
I can say 12.
Okay, by noon. Okay, we'll look for you then. It does turn into 14 hours due November 15th, and we'll have all that paperwork at the front desk for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're good to go.
All right.
And moving forward, Brandon Perez, can you unmute?
Yes.
How are you this morning?
Good. Just busy.
I understand. I have your file pulled up.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me just review. So just once again, when you leave the list to do community service, that's on you. And, we're not able to verify this. We've made contact with this person and basically, first of all, the email didn't work. And I
The
think
email didn't work. Okay.
that's where we had to stop because there wasn't a number that allowed us to connect to anyone. And it's in Oklahoma. I don't know them, but I need proof of nonprofit status or it's rejected. And right now it's rejected.
Okay.
I can give you a little more time to do that, or I can just let you start over and pick a different place that you know
Okay,
is a nonprofit. But it's really why I write that down. I write it right there. It says you need to make sure because you're leaving the known provider list.
Mhm. The proof
But
that what does that need to look like?
what does it look like for a place to be a nonprofit?
No. What is the proof for me to prove it to you that it's a nonprofit? Do I need to get them?
You would need their nonprofit status letter from either the state or the federal government, either one.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not that picky. I just have a line that I have drawn. And that is that if the state where you are says it's a nonprofit, meaning they're dealing with a tax issue, it's a
Okay.
tax issue.
Oh yeah. I
What
understand.
happens for my city is that if I accept it and it's not a nonprofit, we pay your taxes.
Yeah, I understand.
We're not going to do that because we're waiving fines and costs with it.
Hmm.
So we're not going to then shell out government money to the federal government.
Okay. So I just need to get some form paperwork that shows they're a nonprofit, and then I email it to the court.
Yes.
Okay, I could do that.
Okay. I can give you 2 weeks and then we'll have to talk about whether we just do something different.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. We can extend to you an extension September 29th and we can meet, but you'll need to sign for that extension today. So we can email that to you like we have been, I think, right?
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, we will see you then, or we'll verify it one way or
Okay.
the other.
Thank you.
Thank you. And moving forward. Let's see. Dominique Robertson, can you get on screen, please?
Can you see me?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Mr. Robertson. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
Thank you for asking. Let's see. So, yeah, so this case has a warrant and the balance, it's a no insurance charge. And the fines and costs, if you paid it, are $430.30. And it's from December 5th of 2021. And I'm just going back over your notes. So state law is definitely that, either the driver behind the wheel is driving with insurance or they're not. And if they're not, then we write the driver. Just to kind of address concerns that I felt like you were expressing in your paperwork. And then I'm just showing that right now you are collecting disability and Social Security at this time, and definitely several children in the home and food stamps happening. But right now your monthly expenses exceed what's coming in to meet those demands. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so I can order community service. I'm willing to grant the deferred, but when I grant deferreds on insurance cases, I require that you provide proof of insurance for 6 months and that it be valid for the 6 months. And I would want that within 30 days. And then your community service would be due. I need to talk to you further about that due date because I need to just ask you a couple of questions. But the deferred would end February 14th. And the insurance again being due on 11/15. And then the 14 hours, a question I have is, what is the nature of your disability briefly?
I'm an ex-athlete. I tore my ACLs 4 times and I've had 5 knee surgeries.
Okay.
I'm not able to walk that good or stand that long.
Right. So normally what I do, sorry, I interrupted you and I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, no, ma'am, it's all right. I was just going to say, I know you said that you would give me a 6-month cap to approve.
Well, it actually would be 5 because the deferred will only be 5.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I actually emailed the copy of the insurance in, and I think your clerk called to verify the insurance, and she was able to verify that the next day after I got the ticket.
Oh, I see. Okay, hang on just a moment. Let me double check.
Yes, ma'am.
So his last name is Dominique. It sounds like maybe, but the option would be. It is policy was purchased. It lapsed 6 weeks later. It would for me. It would my bigger issue. Okay. Okay. I have a few thoughts about how to proceed. Okay. One,
Yes, ma'am.
we have a prosecutor memo on file, which I sort of treat those as that compliance dismissal. They're not technically legally compliance dismissals, but they're in that category. So if something meets one of those, then I do a dismissal there. That one says if you get insurance the day after, we dismiss as long as you're on time for court. Of course, you're not on time for court because we have a warrant for not being on time. So one option would be if you want to back up with a not guilty plea and talk to him and see if he might be willing to extend that to you. That's not a definite. I am willing to do a deferred on the case. That insurance did lapse about 6 weeks later, which is a little unusual. Usually they're month to month, but anyway, doesn't matter. For my purposes, I would want insurance in the deferral during the deferral period. So there's 2 times we could be saying we want insurance. For me, it would be during your deferral, I want you covered. Okay. And we're not doing one yet. Okay. But although we might be about to, if you want to do that. If you want to see if he'll make an exception to his normal rule and allow, a dismissal, then, I can schedule you for that meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you say?
I want to take a chance on seeing if he'll dismiss it.
Okay. Remember that it's totally discretionary.
Yes, ma'am.
In other words, good to be polite. Sorry. And the other thing is he's going to want to understand why it took this long to get to court. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to make a note that I have determined that you're indigent. As far as indigency goes with someone who cannot do the community service, I go ahead and schedule it. This is true even if there's a deferred, because I don't even think of it differently. If you're in a deferred or otherwise and community service is due, I schedule it. And then if your doctor tells me in writing that you cannot do it, I look at whether I'm required to make an adjustment or do some sort of waiver. So if we get to that bridge, you'll need to be thinking about how to get me that. But
Yes,
for
ma'am.
now, I'll reschedule you for a pretrial for September 29th.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm noting that you've changed your plea to not guilty and moving towards that date for an online meeting here like we're doing today. I do need a signature on this. I can email it to you and you can print it, sign it, and email it back. Or I can see when you can come by the court today.
Actually, I can be on my way up there right after we end this.
Okay, I'll just say that you'll be here by 11.
Yes, ma'am. And then you said I would need to prove to him, or he would want a reasoning for why it took me so long to come to court.
He might.
All right. I'm not sure about how to prove that, but I had a surgery, another knee surgery around that same exact time, and that's the reason why I hadn't been in court.
Yeah. Well, just you might talk to him about that and see what he needs to look at.
Okay.
I don't
yes,
really get involved in that, and I don't know what he requires. I used to do that job, so I know what I would be thinking.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I'd kind of want to know, but you might check in with that person, see what he's really asking from
Yes,
you, if he's even willing to have the discussion. And
Yes.
if you decide you want to just go with a deferred for some reason, change your plea and come back and talk to me about it. Open to
Yes,
the
ma'am.
possibility.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Robertson, thank you for your time today. You're good to go.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I'm moving forward then with Daniel Blanco. Blanco, can you get on the screen? Thank you. So I have, let's see where we are. I have 4 cases. And I just want to walk you through and let you know, where I kind of think things are, and then I'll hear from you as well. There's a speeding charge from August 12th. The costs and fines are $259, and I have a guilty plea and a request for community service. Then I have that's 78 and a 60. Then I have a no insurance charge, and that is from the same stop. The costs and fines are $281. And I have a community service request on that charge and a plea on that charge of guilty. And then I have a speeding charge with fines 68 and a 40, and it's from August 9th. Fines and costs are $264, and I have a guilty plea on that charge and a request for community service. And then a no insurance charge from that same stop. Fines and costs are $281, a plea of guilty, and a request for community service. I also have a request to extend you to see if you can provide proof of insurance. What I'm going to tell you is that I would need to have proof that you were insured driving the vehicle August 9th or August 12th, or otherwise there's not much point because I can't do a dismissal without that proof. Were you insured at that time, those times?
No, my mom was not insured. I got insurance. I want to say like a week or two after after I had got my ticket.
Okay. I'm not able to dismiss under those facts. I furthermore need to ask you just a few more questions. I'm wondering, sorry, let me get back to the correct page. Always when you want to do it, it's something to stick together. I just have that you're an electrician. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you have a son?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Is he living with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you living with family or are you living alone?
No, ma'am, I have my own place.
Okay. So I can order a payment plan. I'm not going to be able to order community service.
Okay.
I can do a payment plan. You had requested $50 a month. Normally it would be higher. And I'm definitely showing you could pay more. I'm not going to object to ordering it to be $50 a month.
Yes.
But I am going to say, what's a good day to collect $50 a month? And can we start today, please?
Yes, ma'am, I could put $50 down today.
Okay, you're going to need to keep up with it.
Okay.
And you can always pay more and get done faster. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I need you to come by to make a signature and get a printout of your payment plan. When can you be here today?
I can actually come right after this.
Okay, I'll say by around 11.
Okay.
That's about enough time. So that will all be at the front desk for you.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions, Mr. Blanco?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay, you are good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Marco, or I'll say it wrong, Arnelius.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you today?
Doing good, Your Honor.
Thank you. There is an expired registration charge. It has fines and costs of $151. Ooh, I'm getting a lot of feedback on it. So I'm looking, just tell me what happened that you missed your court date.
My court date?
Yes, your court date was on your ticket and you missed it. Let me see. Oh, hang on. Let me just double check that.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, or name. I'm just doing a double down review. Hit the link. When was his court date? He was prepared. Yeah. No, I know. Give me a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, so your court date was August 10th. Your court date was August 10th. And you actually got everything up to date on August, which is late. And then you didn't come in until the 31st. So it's kind of, that's the problem. And I'm just looking to see if I have any discretion. Because I see that you had a vehicle that was in disrepair.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I'm just, I get why it might have worked the way that it did.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to see if there's any wiggle room for me.
Yeah, well, I actually missed my first court date. I did
Yes.
completely forgot about it. And that wasn't until they sent me a notice that I had to appear on the, what was it, 30th or 31st, I believe.
Yes. Let's see.
Yeah, I did completely totally forget about that. But, yeah, there's no excuses.
Hang on, just still working on it. Doesn't take long. It feels like forever when I know people. Here we go. I've got the chart. So I'm not able to do a dismissal because of the missed court date. The prosecutor might be willing to, and I can schedule that meeting if you would like. Otherwise, I can schedule payment.
And what was the amount? I'm sorry for the
151,
151.
over 100 of that, of which is court cost.
Yeah. Okay, I think I will just, I don't want to make a commitment because I am busy at work. I can't miss it another day, but I
It's
think
not a moving violation, so it's not going to impact your driving record.
Okay. Good. So if we do meet up with the prosecutor, when can we schedule that for?
September 29th. You would have to be here online. What say you?
I'm sorry?
What do you say?
Oh, yeah, I think I'll do the 29th.
Okay. All right, we will schedule that. Yes, not guilty. We'll email you the link, okay?
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
sounds great. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, moving forward. I get disoriented. I don't know how many people could hear that. So let's see. Miss Kleinsmith?
Yes,
If-
ma'am.
Hi, if you could unmute. I mean, you've already unmuted. Thank you. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. So I need to do a couple of things because, well, I'll be honest with you. What you sent in was the tiniest little print, and therefore pretty difficult to read. And it was a long dialogue. So before we kind of get into all of that, let me tell you kind of where we are. Okay. This regards a stop December 30th of 2014. There's a speeding charge with fines and costs of $444.60. And I believe, at least I'm clear on this, that you are pleading guilty to that charge. And then I would move on to just tell you that the next one is a no insurance charge. And that one is from whether there was insurance for you driving the vehicle December 30th of 2014. And I know you're not in Texas, but in Texas, we don't charge the owner, we charge the driver. And the fines and costs are $456.30. And you have pleaded not guilty to that charge. Normally, I ask if you were insured at the time, you could provide insurance and I could dismiss. But otherwise, I would schedule you for a meeting with the prosecutor because you've pleaded not guilty. I'm not really supposed to be talking about the case with you at this point, other than to schedule reasonable dates. And then there was a case of violating the promise to appear. And that means not checking in with the court on time. I'll have to look and see the court date. The court date is always on the ticket itself. And it's when you miss that court date that you are charged with that one. And let me just look. It looks to me like the plea on that charge was not guilty. So those two cases are looking to be peeled off into a pretrial process. And the speeding charge, we would be looking to do a sentence. Now, on the speeding charge, looking at sentencing, what I'm showing right now is that you currently do not have income. You do have children and you are pregnant and you are living in Iowa. Am I correct so far on everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. On the speeding charge, fines and costs being $444.60, I normally order community service. That is subject to doctor information. I'm no doctor, right? And so I don't know, your status with your pregnancy. et cetera. On that one, it's normally, it would be 22 hours with a due date of November 15th. And I go ahead and order that. And then if there's a reason that you can't do the community service, then what you're doing is getting written proof of that from your doctor and sending it to me by your due date. And in the meantime, we would schedule your pre-trials for September 29th. It's an online pre-trial at that point. So what else do I need to know?
I know right off the top, I'm probably not going to be able to do that many hours of community service by that date, just because I have no transportation. I'm currently staying in a domestic abuse shelter for women with kids. And I know like part of the reason why I'm unable to pay is because I can't get a job. I can't get a job because I have no one to watch my kids and don't have an address to put down on applications.
Okay, so actually that is one of the exceptions that I have. And I just need proof of your enrollment there, you know, whatever, if you're living there, if you're enrolled in a program, I just need proof that that's happening. I don't need an address of that location unless it's just a standard address. Sometimes they have, you know, not a street address. They usually have a PO box, but so you can send me proof of that enrollment and then I can schedule you. I'll schedule the hours, but that's really a check-in date to see if we need to give more time, you know, to kind of check in and see what's actually happening, what's the person able to do. I'll treat it like community service today because I don't have the other information yet. But I think, let me double check. Do we have anything from them? Her shelter. Okay. So, and then, you know, you get me that information and I usually can waive the hours. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and schedule the pretrial for September 29th. It starts at 9. It's a link and we'll send that link to you. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go email on both of these and let you go at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll see you September 29th. Don't forget about that. I can recall your warrants today, but the holds on the license, that's what we're trying to address. You know, those are what we're trying to clear through the waiver of the community service and the pre-trial process, seeing if anything happens there. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. We'll see you on the 29th.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so moving forward, and Ms. Fletcher, if you could unmute and let me know how you're doing today.
Hi, good morning, Judge. I've been better. How are you?
I'm sorry you're not well or that things aren't good right now. I did want to let you know that I did receive the information you submitted. And both of these cases we've already sentenced. It's just not working out. And I did see that, you know, right now there's no income. You have a disability or someone in your family does. And
I do.
so, okay. And so normally I order community service and then I need to look at whether, let me just look at one thing before I do that. And then I need to hear from you.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Let me look real quick. Yeah, I just want to look at that WLI check. The valid of what she's yeah, that. Okay, I can. Okay, you have two cases One is a fine of $66 that's still left over on a driving while license invalid charge. And
Yes, ma'am.
you are indigent and I'm waiving that today. The remaining case is a stop sign charge. And it has a balance of 170. And I guess I'm wondering if you tell me a little bit about your disability.
I'm a veteran, so I was in the service, and so I suffer from depression, PTSD, and anxiety.
And do you think your doctor would say that you can do community service or that you can't?
My psychiatrist that I see, he probably will.
I can order that on the remaining amount. And that would be 9 hours. And I can give you 60 days to do that. And you can always get it done earlier. I have a list of places where you can do the community service.
Okay.
And they include the city, but you don't have to work with the city. It's just, we need a signature on the forms today. I can email it to you for you to sign, or I can ask if you can come by to sign. What's going to work best for you?
I can come in to sign when we're done.
Okay, so probably by noon.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have all of that for you here at the window. Okay, Miss Fletcher.
Okay, thank you.
Are you sick or what's going on for you? Is it something?
I think I'm coming down with a cold. Is my kid? I have 3 babies, so they each all got sick at different times, and I think I'm catching a whim of it.
Okay, yeah, bring a mask so that we're all safe if you don't mind.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
We can provide one if you want. We'll see you soon, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Hi, Miss Johnson. How are you today? Let's go ahead and unmute. There you are. How are you today?
Good, and you?
Fine. Let's see. It's the possession of tobacco by a minor, and the fines and costs, if you pay it, are $181. And I show that you are not in school. You're a young lady or young person. You're a full-time student, but are you in high school or college?
I'm in high school.
Where do you go to school?
Edwards.
Okay. How do you get to and from school?
I get dropped off and get picked up.
Okay. I have a teen court option available. When you do teen court, you pay $20 if you're able. And then you show up for sentencing and you do sentencing at the school, Temple High School, where you would be allowed to be there. And that's going to meet October. Okay. November 16th. Sorry. No, it's fine. November 16th would be when we could do that. I'm doing it.
You said what time?
It's right. It's at 3:30, and you can get an excuse to get out to come over if you need to leave school a few minutes early. We just, the moment school ends, we're starting up. You know.
You keep cutting in and out.
Okay. Well, why don't you come on up to the building and we'll just work on it over here. There'll be a case manager who can talk with you about it. You're 19, so you don't have to bring a parent. We do need proof of school enrollment to be in the teen court program.
Here's my sister.
So she just moved in with me due to an issue that was going on at home, and so we're in the process of, she'll be at Edwards, but it's the graduate program that's at Edwards. I'm waiting on the counselor from the high school to call me back because they're waiting for records to transfer over from Coppers Cove.
Okay.
So would you need the proof of the school? Would you need that today, or could she bring that?
I do if we're going to sign up for teen court. I think the best option right now would be to extend this for 2 weeks.
Okay, is there an option that she could possibly do community service for her fines?
There is, I am required by law though to order a tobacco awareness class.
Okay.
Is that on conviction? Yeah, on conviction. Does it suspend the license? Okay. I'm required to order a an alcohol awareness, tobacco awareness class. I'm sorry, it's been a bit of an intense morning. I apologize.
I know.
So, I'm kind of trying to move that around a little and see if she's willing to do teen court, keep it off her record and save money because it's $181. And then
Okay.
she still has to pay for a class. And
Okay.
if we do teen court, there's a $20 fee. I need proof of enrollment. And then she comes to a sentencing proceeding and we look at what the options are going to be to fulfill a sentence. But we've moved that burden over to what can actually be done given the resources available. And that's all about affordability as well. So, it's better for her to get some intervention on tobacco right now than to wait and have a full-blown tobacco thing going on. Just because, well, it's a lifelong expense, not to mention it kills you. But I mean, if that doesn't, some people that's still with their attention, but that's not necessarily what young people think about, but really it's a very expensive habit. And we're real clear on the science about all that. So if she wants to do teen court and save some money, it's an interesting process. If y'all don't want to engage in that, that's fine. If you want to do teen court, we would extend it a couple of weeks to just kind of get things settled down and see if we can get settled down with y'all's situation. It sounds like there's a lot happening. This kicks it down the road a little bit. And then we kind of look and think about it. Because right now things might not feel terribly clear.
Okay, yeah, if we could do the offset it a couple weeks, because that'll give me time, because they're trying to get everything transferred over and everything. I have everything sent to them. They're just trying to get through the process, and then they have to process her into the graduate program at Edwards. So they said it's going to take a little bit of time, but that 2 weeks will give us that time that we need.
Okay. I just need y'all to swing by today to sign for the extension. When can we do that?
I literally live like a block away from where the court is, so we can come by there probably here in the next 15 minutes.
Okay. And I'm going to ask y'all to do a change of address for me here, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, thank you. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, but we'll see you at the front window here shortly. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thanks, ladies. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.